Do you ever feel like your mind is stuck on repeat, replaying the same worries, the same mistakes, the same fears, until you're exhausted but no closer to any solution? That mental loop isn't helping. It's stealing your time, your energy, and your sanity. Because obsessive thinking isn't about finding answers, it's about avoiding pain. It's your mind's way of running from fear, doubt, and shame, while dragging you deeper into the very chaos you're trying to escape. Running doesn't work. Fighting it doesn't work. The more you try to think your way out, the tighter the trap becomes. The only way out of this chaotic mental state is to understand why it's there in the first place. And that's what this video is about, a deep dive into something we brush off as normal. Obsessive thinking defined. There's a fine line between productive thinking and obsessive thinking, and it's critical to recognize which side you're on. Productive thinking has purpose. It's problem-solving, planning, or reflecting in ways that lead to real outcomes. It's the equivalent of building a bridge to get from where you are to where you want to be. Obsessive thinking? That's a hamster wheel. It looks like motion, it feels like effort, but it takes you absolutely nowhere. Obsessive thinking pretends to give a sense of control of self-discipline. You might catch yourself spiraling over a mistake you made, replaying conversations like a broken record, or obsessing over a decision as though thinking longer and harder will reveal the perfect choice. But has that ever actually worked? Obsessive thinking isn't about finding solutions, it's about avoidance. Underneath all those mental loops lies a sneaky truth which disguises itself as perfection, but in fact is fear. Fear of uncertainty, fear of failure, or the belief that you're not enough. The mind becomes a master illusionist, making you believe that obsessing is helping you stay ahead, when really it's keeping you stuck. Because deep down, there's an unresolved emotional wound. And instead of sitting with that discomfort, the brain convinces you that more thinking will fix it. The hidden pain beneath. Obsessive thinking is a coping mechanism. Beneath those relentless thoughts, the mind is actually latching onto problems because it's trying to protect you from fear, pain, shame. It's a survival strategy, but one that always backfires. It starts with unresolved emotional wounds of early experiences. And these wounds don't just disappear by thinking more and more. They continue to linger in the background, shaping how you see yourself and the world. The mind grabs onto specific fears, your appearance, your finances, what people think of you, not because they're the real problem, but because they're easier to obsess over than the raw emotions lurking underneath. Ignoring that pain doesn't make it go away. It just grows louder, more insistent, until it spills out in other areas of your life. These feelings aren't fun to face, but they're the key to understanding why your mind keeps clinging to obsessive thought. But this doesn't mean you don't have to have all the answers right now. Trying to do that will make you start obsessing over finding answers. Recognizing that obsessive thinking is a symptom, not the source, is a powerful first step. When you stop treating the surface fear as the enemy and start addressing the hidden pain beneath it, you give yourself the chance to move beyond. Stop running from the pain. The harder you try to think your way out of obsessive thoughts, the deeper you sink into them. Because the real solution is the one thing you're actively avoiding, feeling the emotions underneath. When your thoughts are spiraling, the instinct is to fight them, to fix the situation, or to outsmart your fears. But that creates more resistance. The more you wrestle with it, the stronger it becomes. When you feel those obsessive thoughts revving up, don't try to solve the thought. Instead, ask yourself, what are you feeling underneath all of these thoughts? Maybe it's fear, sadness, frustration, or even shame. Let it surface. This process isn't about wallowing in those emotions. It's about bringing to the surface what these thoughts are trying to suppress. Believe me, this will feel awful if you've never done it before. But that discomfort doesn't last forever. Emotions move through you like waves. They rise, peak, and eventually fade. It's the resistance, the refusal to feel them, that keeps them locked inside. When you make it a habit to sit with that discomfort instead of drowning it in thought, you begin to separate yourself from your obsessive mind. you realize that you aren't your thoughts. You're the observer of them. And in that realization, you take back control. It's not about erasing the discomfort. It's about proving to yourself that you can function even with its presence. That you don't need to obsess, distract, or numb to survive. The more you allow yourself to feel the emotions underneath, the less power obsessive thinking has over you. This is what gives clarity, not in the constant chatter of your mind, but in the quiet truth that comes when you stop running. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Because on the other side of that discomfort lies relief, freedom, and the solution you've been chasing all along. Letting go of obsessive thoughts. Letting go of obsessive thoughts isn't about forcing your mind to stop. That approach only adds fuel to the fire, turning a simmering loop into a full-on mental inferno. Instead, it's about shifting your focus from control to acceptance, from battling your thoughts to understanding their purpose. Obsessive thinking thrives on resistance. When you try to shut it down or outthink it, you're playing by its rules. Remember, obsessive thoughts aren't the enemy. They're messengers, pointing you towards something deeper that needs your attention. The way forward isn't through silencing the noise, but by listening for the truth beneath it. Start by recognizing obsessive thoughts for what they are: mental habits. Habits formed from unresolved fears, insecurities, and emotional wounds. Like any habit, they're automatic and familiar, but they're not permanent. The more you observe them without judgment, the more you weaken their grip. This is where letting go begins, not with pushing the thoughts away, but by softening your response to them. Instead of reacting with panic or frustration, take a step back. Imagine yourself as an observer, watching clouds drift across the sky. Acknowledge their existence as thoughts. This creates a separation between thinking that these thoughts are your identity. They don't define you, and they don't control you unless you let them. Let go of the need to solve, predict, or control, and bring your focus to the present. Engaging your senses, feel the texture of something in your hands, listen to the subtle sounds around you, or take deep, intentional breaths. Grounding doesn't solve the underlying problem, but it anchors you to the moment after you have created the space between thought and observation. It allows the focus to shift from inside your head to the outside instead. Dealing with obsessive thoughts doesn't have a quick fix. Something that stems from deep pain requires deep work. Stopping obsessive thinking is a journey of building self-trust. There's not one practice to target obsessive thinking. It's about developing self-confidence that you can deal with the ups and downs of life. It's about healing the relationship you have with yourself and learning to handle emotions as they are. It's about stopping yourself from the narratives that you've been telling yourself all along. Life is messy, unpredictable, and imperfect, and that's okay. True peace doesn't come from controlling every detail. It comes from learning to live fully, even when things feel uncertain. This video is here not to give you a step-by-step guide to defeating obsessive thoughts, because directly engaging to fight it worsens them. It's a process towards self-love and healing that takes patience, persistence, and presence. Comment below if you struggle with this obsessive thinking and if this video gave you a deeper insight about them. Watch our video that will help you understand how you can heal the relationship with yourself. That's where you'll find ways that in the long run will take away obsessive thinking. Always remember, Habitual Harmony is here to help you live a life of peace, calm, and deep meaning.